Hey y'all, what's going on? Welcome back here for another video with me, Oni. So I have a video, it's been some years. I really don't know when I did it, but it was a video where I sat down and I drew out the past me. I also have my workbook, Doing Things That Matter. The workbook, it's interactive, and within the workbook I also included that exercise as well. So that's in the description box, and I have a link somewhere here to the previous video. So I wanted to come back and do like an updated video of the past me. I don't know if you guys did this. I'm almost sure y'all probably did do this, like in elementary school, maybe middle school, maybe even high school, where you drew yourself and like describe yourself and how you were, like maybe it was currently how you felt about yourself, or what you were like, or even the future you. Today I'm going to be focusing on the past me. I don't know if I said this in that last video, but it would be great if y'all sit and do it with me. Like, we can do it together, writing out our past us. At the top you're gonna write past me. So the idea is for you to like reflect on yourself and how you were. So I like to be able to look back so that I can see my progress, not really looking back to where I'm like, man, I wish I could go there, and I feel like that's how I used to be. So doing things like this, it helps me to really think about how I used to be. And sometimes when I feel like I haven't really been making progress, this reminds me like, girl, yeah, you've actually been making some progress. Like you are actually growing. I know it may not seem like it or look like it to you, but you have. So I like to do this because I can keep it and have it to look back over, so it may be helpful for you. Because I know a lot of times you feel like, man, I'm just not in a place where I feel like I should be, or I feel like I'm still in the same place that I was some years ago. But really, you actually are making progress. So I'm gonna draw myself. I am not an artist. Well, I am an artist.
Keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
But I'm not like a painter, or I'm not the best with like drawing. But you don't have to be the best. It's just, drawing a figure of yourself. Because my eyes definitely don't look like this. My nose either. And you know what? Even me drawing myself now, I'm drawing like a smile. But on the side, I'm gonna put a smiling on the outside, but inside not so much, because that's how it is. It's like overall I felt like I was a happy person, but I still kind of felt like I would put on for other people, because you don't want to be a Debbie Downer. You don't want to seem as if the weight of the world is on your shoulders, or you don't want to always seem like you're sad. And I wouldn't say that I was just like sad all the time or nothing like that, but how I would look outward wasn't really how I felt inside all the time. I think that's something that really is for a lot of us. It's just, we tend to try to look a certain way, try to do a certain thing because we feel like that's the way that we're supposed to be. You don't really want people to truly know how you're feeling. Either you don't really want to bother people, or you want people to think like you have it all together. So I don't know. I don't think that it was that I wanted people to think that I had it all together. I just really didn't want to bother. I didn't want to be a bother. So my hair was long. It's not anymore. Cut it myself actually. But yeah, my hair was long. And I think that's another thing too for me. It's like, which I don't think that I realized this until I actually cut my hair, because I've been wanting to do it for some time, but I just kept talking myself out of it. And I know that like so many people always complimented me on my hair, especially like guys that I dated, and it was like my crown. It was everything. So I think that I kind of like hid behind my hair in a sense, if that makes sense. Not like physically, but because I knew, hey, made me look good, get my hair straightened and it's long. And so it kind of like took the focus off of everything else. So that was something big. And that I think that really contributed to me actually cutting my hair. It was just like, you know what? You're working on changing and letting things go. Cut your hair. I feel like hair also carries energy, and I felt like I was still carrying around just bad energy. So it's like, girl, cut your hair. Cut it, okay? Forget what other people think, how they feel. Like, it's your hair. If you want it to grow back, it'll grow back. If you don't, keep cutting it. So I know that that's how it is for so many people. I actually had someone see me and they were like, oh my gosh, you cut your hair, like your hair is your glory. Like, and it's like, if the only thing that I bring to the table is like my hair and like that's it, that's all that you see, I don't really like that. For me personally, I don't really like that. So yeah, long hair. And I've always been pretty petite, so which it's not bad. Like I've always been, you know, pretty petite. But I think that I'm gonna draw my legs real skinny. Yeah, I've always been like petite and slim, and that was something else that I noticed. Like people would, it was like both sides. Like I would have people who would say something negative, talking about me being so skinny. You know, you ain't got no butt, you all this bone back there, and then you think you know, people who be like, you think you all that because you this, because, and I never looked at myself in that way, like me thinking I'm all that. I was more me, like I sometimes kind of felt like, man, I wish I had a little more to me, you know? So it's just so much just being, just contradicting. Like on one end I would hate it, and then on the other end I would love it. It's just not really being just totally secure. So I'm gonna put that too, not totally secure in my own body. Yeah, I don't feel like I was just totally secure in my own body, because I was taking the opinions that other people had like to heart. So if it was a guy that I was dating and he was talking about me and like loving the body, I felt good. And you know, I had a friend or someone else or another guy that I talked to or something, or maybe just a guy in general who said something, and girl, you too skinny, you don't have any meat on your bones, you know, stuff like that, then, you know, I would feel some type of way. So it was just so much, I just wasn't really secure in my own body. And I look back, it's so crazy. Like I look back at old pictures of myself and I'm like, I literally say like, girl, if only you were so much more secure. You know, y'all ever felt like that? Like you look back at pictures and you're like, man, if only you felt good about yourself. Like you are beautiful. Like you were beautiful. You were amazing. Like what the heck? You know, now of course it's different when you're in the future. You can look back and you're like, man, you know, why didn't I think differently? Because of course now, you know, you grow and mature, but at that time it's just like, man, you know, just like, what the heck, you know? So that's something now, having my own child, I want to make sure that I like instill that in her, like be confident in who you are and loving yourself, and, you know, like not trying to seek validation from other people. So that's something else I'm gonna say too, like validation. You know, it did me justice to hear like, you're beautiful, you're this or you're that, or, you know, I do love words of affirmation, but I think that it was a difference than where I needed it for validation. Like if you didn't say that this looked good, then I questioned it, versus it being where I didn't need you to say it looked good or didn't for me to do it, you know, or for me to feel good about it. So like that goes kind of into choices, change color, choices that I made, like always asking other people for their opinions or what I should do, unsure. So if you're doing this with me, or you're gonna do it in the future, you know, it's not necessarily just drawing like the literal picture, but just writing different things about the past you around you as well. So that was something like choices. And I believe I put this in the previous one, but my days I would say they were still like sunny. You know, I definitely don't want to paint this picture of like, oh my gosh, life was so miserable, because I don't believe in just making things dramatic just to make it dramatic. You know, speak your truth, be real. That's the only way that you're going to be able to, that's the only way that you're going to be able to change and grow and develop, is when you're authentic, when you're honest with yourself, and even able to be honest with other people. So I'm putting a sun up here because I still was able to see good. You know, I still was able to see the sun shining and appreciate it. Well, I don't know if I necessarily appreciated it, but I still saw it. You know, I still recognized good. But in recognizing the good, I don't know if I truly appreciated the good, or like appreciated my good. You know, I would see good, but I would also see bad. And I think that's the case for so many of us. Like, you still see bad, and that's okay. I mean, that means you're human. You recognize it. But there's a difference, and it's important to not just see good and bad, but to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna choose good. And I don't think that I always chose good. So I'm gonna put bad versus good, and I'm gonna circle bad, because a lot of times I felt like I would choose to see the bad, or like the negative, versus always seeing the good. It's just in not even just people, but like for myself. Like, I would see the good. That's something else I'm gonna put. Bad for myself, good for others. So I would be able to pick out the good in other people, and you know, appreciate them and love on them. Like, oh, you this, you that, yes, yes, yes. But then for me, you need to do better. You're not this, you're not that. You know, like all of that stuff. It should have been where I was able to put good out and also put good in as well. You know, I don't want to just put bad things. I loved, oh my gosh, the past me, I loved purses, y'all. I loved handbags. Like, it's my mom, it's I'm not gonna say my mom's fault, but it's because of my mom. Like, literally, I think that my mom, I don't know how, it was like she would be at work. I don't know if she had a break or something, but every day after school, she would have a new purse for me. I don't know. It was a new purse. So I loved purses. I'm gonna draw a little purse over here. I felt secure with a bag. So if I didn't have a purse, I didn't feel right. Like, I did not feel right going anywhere without a purse. Like, it's so funny to think about that now, because I still do. I do still love purses and stuff like that, but not so much. I used to love, like, I had so many handbags. Were y'all like that too? Or if you guys are still like that, let me know. Do y'all love purses, wallets, stuff like that? I'm a woman, so I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, but this activity is not just for women, so I want to say that this is for guys too. It's for men and women. Socks was another thing. I always wore mix match. Which one is it? Mismatch or mismatch or mix match? I always wore socks that were different. Like, that was my thing. People knew me to wear different socks. So this picture is something else. But I have socks up here. That was like my thing. I still do. Like, I love socks. I love a good sock, okay? I love a good sock. And shoes, I really used to love tennis shoes too. Like, it's my thing. And heels. I used to love things. I think I had an attachment. I'm gonna put that as well. Attachment to things. Attachment to stuff. Just stuff. Clutter. So, attached to things. Clutter. Like, I just had so much stuff. stuff. And I think that I just, in me doing this, I recognize and realize that I think I was just trying to fill my space and fill my life with stuff because I didn't feel like so good with just me, my own personal time, me, so now, child, man. But I'm gonna do a current me and future me video as well. If y'all definitely want to see that, please give this video a thumbs up so we can keep this going, and let me know in the comments as well. That would mean a lot. I'm gonna put a little Nike check mark on here. See if we can do it. Let's see. I don't know if this is even the right way, and this is something that a lot of people know about me, because I talk about it all the time, is being a recovering people pleaser. So hold on, let me put these 5 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put too many fingers. People pleaser. Yes. I think that I sometimes people think that being a people pleaser means that you always say yes, you don't really share your opinions and things like that. That wasn't the case for me. It was more so of like, I want everyone to be happy. I want everybody to be good. So if that means that I have to cater to their needs and wants and maybe put mine on the back burner, then that's what I would do. Like, you know what, let me just make sure that everybody else is good. Here and there, I may throw in my opinions or my thoughts or something like that, but 9 times out of 10, I'm just gonna keep it cute and keep it on mute, So it's truly people pleasing, especially, this is something that I really believe that, like, a lot of things starts like at home and starts in your childhood. And that was the thing for me. Like, I always wanted to please my parents. I would yearn for their love and attention. And I am the baby of the family. So I felt like, because, everybody else is older, so they're kind of like looking at me. And so I felt like the need to put on, and, I want to make everybody happy. I don't want them to be mad at me. I don't want anyone to just be in a negative feeling, even if that meant that I was doing things that I really didn't want to do. Like, hey, whatever, I am the sacrifice, okay? I just want everybody else to be good. So a lot of times that meant saying yes to situations and things that I really didn't want to, just because I wanted to keep the peace. Let me do a peace sign. Go on. Let me see. Peace. I think peace is like this. Yeah, I just wanted to keep the peace. And I think that keeping the peace can be a good thing, but at the same time, sometimes it's okay to, shake things up a little bit. It's okay for you to be vocal and honest. When I kind of talk about like how I looked and appearance, I didn't necessarily feel like I was the prettiest. I don't know if I don't know if it was that I didn't like love myself or something like that. I just don't think that I loved myself enough at that, in the past. So I'm gonna put a heart, but I'm not gonna fully connect the heart. So, and it's like, when doing this kind of really brings me back to like so much, because I just think about so many different situations and like good and bad. It's not always necessarily just like bad, but I want to grow and I want to be better. I don't want to revert back to old habits and old things, so like gossip. I think you guys really, y'all get it. Y'all get what I'm saying. Gossiping, tuning into negativity. But another thing that I loved was like traveling. So I'm gonna put a airplane. Let's see, we'll be able to do it. I loved to travel, especially my dad and I, we used to always go, we used to take a trip every summer, just me and him. We would always go and travel somewhere. Just, he would let me pick and we'd go. And it was just a great time because it was, my dad worked so much. So it felt good to be able to have like just the time for, you know, just me and him, and to develop our relationship. Because for a while I didn't really feel connected to my dad, because I think that because he was working so much and just going, I just didn't feel super connected. So it was great for us to be able to have that time where we could talk, because a lot of times I didn't feel like I could be myself with my dad. Like, I was a totally different person, and this is something that I actually still am. Even the current me, I'm still working on just like me really being able to be me with my dad. With my mom, it's totally different, like the way I talk to her. And it's funny because my husband actually pointed that out, like, you know, you actually are kind of different, you know. I don't know, y'all like that with your parents? Or are you guys just like, you are who you are with both of them? You know, even like with certain family, I just feel like I was just so different, just not myself, you know? Also, I loved to read. That definitely started from childhood. And I ran track. I ran track and cross country. So I used to love to run. And that was something else. Get some tennis shoes, make some little cute laces. I'm gonna keep going at it with my past me. I definitely would love for you all to do it. If you do, please take a picture, share it with me. And if you feel okay with me sharing yours, then I can share it like on my Instagram, or maybe even post some little snapshots in the next video that I do. Let me know what you all are thinking. Like, how was the past you? If you could describe yourself now in the comments. Let's talk about it a little bit. I love doing activities like this. Like I said, it is in my workbook. It's an activity that's in the workbook. I like doing stuff like this because it really just helps me to kind of go back to that place. And for some time, it was hard for me to sit and do the past me without crying. Like, I feel I'm actually proud of myself, and I think that's why I want to encourage you to do it, and do it over and over again, because you really grow and you mature and you become stronger when you face the truth. It's not always just ugly. And I think sometimes when we look back or we think about past, it can go either way, where we are only focusing on the good and we tend to forget the bad, or we only focus on the bad and we forget the good. So I think it's great to do things like this where you're able to just see the entire picture. If you guys loved this and enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments as well. As always, continue to do things that matter and keep it random. I'll see y'all for my next video. Peace.